X-Men,
which I think continues to be good.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm actually like looking forward to the next episode when they go away. Yeah. And it's starting to, I felt like in the first, I don't know, like 3 episodes, like remember that one, I think my least favorite of the season has been that Mr. Sinister one where he infects Nathan, that third one. Where I was like, what the, where Madeline Pryor comes out and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I felt like a little too like, what is happening?
Yeah, they speed ran that story.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And but I'm kind of okay with it now because I didn't know Nathan was just going to be Cable, and spoilers. and so I think it's kind of come around, and what Sinister was trying to accomplish in that episode actually ties into the Sentinel program that we didn't know, but this Android Sentinel program we didn't know about. They got this new villain, Bastion, who's like this mutant / Sentinel that has an amazing voice actor.
It's funny because they do an origin story for him in there, and it was a shot for shot like recreation of Man of Steel. There was a Man of Steel like childhood classroom scene, which is interesting. It's like, does that pervert love Man of Steel? Yeah, the showrunner who got fired.
Yes.
For some OnlyFans shenanigans that are mysterious, but now there's calls for him to be rehired because people are having so much fun with the series.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say rehire him. Maybe you do need a pervert to be in charge of these things.
Let's see if I can find Bastion.
I found him. Theo James is his name. He's in White Lotus, that show that you watched. He played Cameron Sullivan.
Oh, okay. I know who he is now. Yep. He's in White Lotus. He's great.
He's good. Yeah, I was really like, because a lot of times like these animated, I still think that the elderly cast leaves something to be desired at times. Beast seems to be holding up well. I think Cal Dodd as Wolverine is like not really doing it for me. It feels like he's missing teeth.
Yeah, he's a little. I mean, there was some great like Logan like action in the most recent episode.
Yeah,
which was awesome. But yeah, the voice actor is a little rough.
They've they kind of relegated Wolverine to just like a cool member of the team that doesn't really have his own story happening, and that's kind of working. Haven't seen anything like that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I like they're focusing on the other characters and giving them kind of the meatier parts.
I thought that whoever they got to play Cable, I don't know if he's going for this or not, but it's cool if he is. He sounds like Josh Brolin to me, who played Cable in the Deadpool 2. Like actually, like every time I hear him, I'm like, is that Josh Brolin? Is that Josh Brolin impersonator? It just kind of sounds like Josh Brolin. Like every time.
Bastion's evolutionary war lasted 300 years.
I guess he's not going to be in the Deadpool movie. He said he's like, oh, they never called me. I wish it looks fun.
He's like, I desperately wanted to be in that. Yeah, why not? It sounds like they put everybody else in it. You didn't put him in it.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
I don't know. It's a shame.
But I thought like if the goal was, wouldn't it be cool if you could make X-Men like a DC animated movie adaptation, where kind of in the way that Batman the Animated Series turned into those DVD Blu-ray movies. It's definitely not the same animation. It is an adapted kind of computer animated version of it, but it uses Kevin Conroy and it uses, in some cases Mark Hamill. And I think it's meant to be understood that a lot of those movies are in the same universe as Batman the Animated Series. And this feels similar. So like once I kind of likened it to that, I felt better, where I was like, we're not trying. The idea that it's like season 6 of the old show wasn't really working for me, but the idea that it's like, it's Twin Peaks season 4 or something that maybe that makes more sense. That's a bad analogy. I never saw it.
Well, season 3 of Twin Peaks is definitely something.
Is it this? I mean, I know the original used like Captain America and they had Spider-Man crossovers and stuff, but this feels like it's more able to live in the Marvel universe than the old show was, as an example. Like even just like tagging in Nightcrawler as one of the new members when he was really just had a cameo in the original series. Like that feels like a evolution to this whole thing.
And I love whenever he's like kind of like doling out wisdom to people. I love it. He's
really
one of my
good
favorites.
I think I've always loved him because he obviously is a devout Christian, or I think he's a Catholic actually, but he looks like a demon, so his mutant power is he looks demonic, but really he's, very anti-Satan. It's cool. I had like a book when I was a kid that was like all about Nightcrawler that I really enjoyed. It's about him being in the circus and persecuted. And I think the thing that's working for me the most about the show at this point is that I think like all the pieces are moving towards the drama in an intelligent way, where like we know what Scott's motivation is and what is at stake for him. And we know,
and then and I love it how it's all like building all together, and to the point where when Professor X comes back and he's like, "To me, my X-Men," I was like, "Dude!" They make everything very satisfying. It's
pretty good.
Where you feel smart for following along.
And so now suddenly, like the weirdness of like Jean. We're rushing Jean to the hospital to have a baby and all that shit that I was like, this doesn't really feel quite like the original show. It kind of all works because it's all headed towards someplace new. I still don't think, I think this is just totally an adult version of that old show. It's using that old show's cast and animation and basically the plot elements to do its own thing, which is like, well, why not? Because that show was based on the comic art as it was. And so it's as good of a sandbox to play in for the X-Men as any. It's probably one of the best sandboxes to play in.
Yeah. And so, the original cartoon, it kind of went through a lot of the X-Men plots. And I think that this is just continuing from the comics. And this is just continuing that.
Yeah.
Maybe speed running a few of them, but
that's really I think that's the only complaint I'm currently left with is I felt like that third episode was it was like, I was trying to like relay the plot to Nina and I failed to. I was like, I don't fucking, never mind. But yeah, even just having Bishop be on the team when the show kicked off so that they're doing a little bit of this like, future stuff with Cable and all. Cable was in the original series. So now I'm like, oh, did they never reveal that he was Cyclops' kid? I guess not.
Oh, makes me kind of want to check out the original show, even though it's probably a derpy cartoon.
It's not a derpy cartoon. Maybe you won't agree, but I just recently bought Cold Vengeance. It was like the 4th or 5th episode. It's the one where Wolverine has like a Dances with Wolves moment. He lives amongst this Inuit tribe up in Canada, and he fights Sabretooth. Sabretooth keeps like trying to kill them all and stuff. It's a really great episode, and so I've been watching that one, and then that one, the B plot was that Storm, Gambit, and Jubilee go to Genosha to check out whether or not, like, they hear that it's like the safe haven for mutants and it's a vacation island and stuff, and they go there and it's a slave island, and so I've been watching a couple of the episodes. I'm like, you know what? Totally, it holds up really well for me. I personally prefer it to the new one. It feels a little bit more traditional. It feels a little bit more heroes and villains, it's good. I think it's good.
A couple of interesting things is we saw Spider-Man. And it's confirmed to be the same as the animated Spider-Man.
That makes sense.
TV show Spider-Man, and we saw Captain America, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Where I love that episode where Rogue is just like trying to is just offer vengeance and just I don't know. There's something fun about her like emotions being so like cold and vengeful, and where she like pushes the scientist off the building and then he's revealed to be a sentinel and stuff like that.
That's one of those moments where I kind of wish they just recast
yes, because she's so old.
Yeah, I wish they just kind of gone with like the way they did with Jean Grey. They just go with somebody. You can still do the sugar thing and you can do the Southern accent, but get somebody with a little bit more range so that we can, because this is I think a dramatic dimension to Rogue that we didn't see all that often on the original series. So if you're going to do it, I'd say like, let's infuse this with Cyclops sounds just like his original cast member, but it is a different guy. And I think he's got more range than the original guy.
One thing somebody told me was that the original Jubilee actress plays the older version of Jubilee in that video game episode. Okay. Which is kind of interesting. So I don't know. It's a good callback, I guess. At the time of this recording, it was the most recent episode was the one where Nightcrawler and Logan fight all the Sentinels back to back with their, I've got 6 reasons. I've got, no, Fräulein, it's 9. Or whatever, yes. Whatever he called him, Fräulein.
No, mein Freund. Nein.
You know that obviously Magneto is the big cliffhanger. So we kind of knew that suspense was coming. And then, of course, Storm is the other kind of character in play. And Xavier was the other character in play. So there's all these nice kind of loose ends that are, are bound to all meet. And that's good storytelling. So, I'd say hire the pervert back.
Yeah, hire him back. How bad was his OnlyFans?
After the James Gunn debacle, you would think that they wouldn't do that again. So it must have been really bad.
He made a good show, or show ran a good show.
Yeah, and it definitely like makes me more hype for Deadpool and Wolverine,
because with all these like references with like Captain America being in there and Spider-Man and like they showed like Doctor Doom and other villains too. It's like this feels more Marvel than Marvel right now.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I'm much more. Yeah, it feels much more Infinity War-ish. It feels like Marvel Comics.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.